Hello.
Yeah, Bhavani.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the one more person from your batch is actually she needs for 1 week. She needs evening session, but one more person is there. Okay, let we don't need to confuse. We'll just make it this timing itself.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
So
no issues. Can you tell me the timings for the evening? Like
evening means
for what time you are planning for it?
I'm not sure about evening timings because two more people's also there. Total four people's for this timing. So I need to check with them also. 11 o'clock, it's even fine for me. Even 11, I'm telling.
Okay, then we'll continue with this 11.
Sorry?
Then we can continue this 11 o'clock only, right?
Morning 11 o'clock only you are telling, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I am. That is actually fine for me because evening I'm also having some office work and it could be a problem for me too. So if you want to join, then we need to join by once your office time gets complete, 11 to 12 like that.
Yeah, but it will be like to end of the day. There will be nothing will go to mind. I think this 11 o'clock is better option.
This timing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So apart from in evening, which time is convenient for you?
Actually, I can manage because it's for 30 minutes, right? 30 to 40 minutes class.
Then
But
you need
sometimes
to,
there will be manager or client call.
okay,
That time it will be little problem.
okay,
So
okay,
so till 2 to 3, like 3 o'clock till 3 o'clock, I'll be free only. I can manage. So after 3, I'll be little busy with them.
okay, okay. So you just any time change, I will make it by 3 o'clock, before three, 2 to 3 like that.
Yeah, that is also before 3. Anytime I can manage.
Okay, so we will start. Like I'm just going ahead with creating a list. Hope you knew about the list data type. Um, So DIR of
Yeah.
X. So when you are just giving this DIR, that is nothing but directories. So these directories are nothing but some inbuilt functions that is available in that list data type. Okay. So when I'm just giving a DIR of X, we'll be just having up and clear, copy, count, extend, index, insert, pop, remove, reverse, sort. Um, so one second.
Yeah.
So now in any data type or any module or any variable name, you want to know what are the inbuilt function that is already defined in Python for the particular data type or the particular variable name. You just want to know about that. So for the perspective, if you give dir in bracket the particular variable name, you will get all the inbuilt functions that you can able to apply with that variable name. So here you are having almost all the double underscore concept. So this each and every double underscore concept, it's all known as class, and this all having it's all known as strongly private identifier. About this, what is this double underscore? I will explain in our OOPS concept. Now we are having something append, clear, copy, count, extend, index, insert, pop, remove, reverse, sort, like this. So now we are just going to deal with this inbuilt function. You need to always know about one thing, how to apply the inbuilt function to the variable name. Variable name dot inbuilt function, open bracket, close bracket. Here we need to give some arguments. So like this we need to define. Okay. So now when I am just giving x dot append, and I am just giving something 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is that argument. So like here, variable name, that's nothing but your x, and the inbuilt function that I just applied this append, and in bracket arguments. Arguments means actual value which we can able to pass inside the function, that is known as arguments. So this is an actual value which we are just passing to this function. So that is nothing but your list data type 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like this. So this actual value I just passed. So now I am just entering enter x. So you have the complete stuff which you already defined. Now the value which you append, so all the list is created here as a separate list. So it is actually creating the full index is considered as a one list. What are the values that's append? Even you append one complete sequence, it will be considered as a one index. You can able to append only one value as well. Even you can able to apply append the sequence as well. So whatever you are just giving the argument, even it's a sequence or even it's a one more thing. I am just doing one more thing here. See, the sequence, this is our tuple. It's in normal bracket, right? So that is also considered as a one index position. So append, you can able to add any sequence or only one element or a string or a tuple or whatever itself, you can able to add in the end of the list, but the sequence which you are added, the complete sequence which you are added to the list will be considered as one index position. So now you have one list inside another list. That's how it looks like a nested list. So now I just want to know one index position of 5. So how to know the index position of 5? 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So we need to count. So instead of we are counting, I am just giving x index and I want to know about the index position of 5. I'm just giving a 5. So you got 4. So in 4, 5 is located. So for your better understand, I am just giving 56. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and this full list is considered as a 5, and this is your 6. So now x of 5 means the complete list you are getting. So now you want to access something from the list. That means accessing a nested list. So x of 5 I am just giving. So from 5th list you want to access the 0th index 1. So from 5th list I am just going to give 2, 2, 4. So 2 and 3 you will get. 2 and 3 index positions. So this is how you can able to apply the append, index and the nested list. Just have a look on this for 1 minute. Sorry, actually I got disconnected. So like this. Append, index and accessing the index position. So now the same thing what I'm just doing here is I'm just clicking up cursor here and I'm just putting a cursor here and I'm just giving enter. So now so I'm just putting a cursor there, and I just got that line here. So now instead of append, I just apply the extend. So I just added the same list here. Let's see how it's working. So when you are just applying a append, all the elements will be. Now you can able to hear me, Pavani, right? Hello. Hello. Now can you able to hear me?
Hello.
Yeah. Now you can hear me, right?
Yeah. Now it's. Yeah. Now.
Yeah. So when you are just appending, one list is completely added here. But when we are just applying the extend, it will be just to extend from the sequence. The complete sequence is extend, and each and every element will be a different index position. So that's what a difference between your append and the extend. So whatever you are giving in append will be considered as a one index position, and the extend, it will just extract, it will just iterate it, and each and every element will be a different index position. So that's what your append and the extend differences. So as we discuss about this index, and now we will go ahead with the insert. Okay. So append and the extend, which is used to add in the end, right? Now we are just going ahead with the insert. Second index position, I want to insert India. See, in second index position, whatever it's there was 3. Now it's moved to third index position. So it is used to insert something there. So that's what your insert is actually doing here. So now the next thing is we are just going ahead with one sequence. Let's we try with inserting the sequence. The complete sequence is inserted. So append and the extend, which is used to add in the end, insert is actually working as an append. But the thing is, when you are just inserting, you can able to tell the position where you want to insert that. Okay, so the next thing is we have append, extend, and insert. It's all clear now. So we will be going ahead with our. So append, index, extend, insert. I hope it is clear. Now we'll go ahead with pop. X dot pop. I'm just going to remove. When I'm just giving x dot pop, by default it will pop it out the last element. We can able to give the index position as well. I just give the second index. So this sequence will be popped up from your list. So now we can able to do one more thing, x dot remove. So in pop, you are giving the index position to remove, cleared, and this remove where you are just going to give a value to remove from the sequence. So pop, which is used to give the index position, and remove, which is used to remove the value. So append, which is used to add the sequence in the list, and the index, which is used to find out the index position, and the extend, which is used to iterate and it's used to add in the end, and the insert, which is used to insert something in this sequence, and then will be just popping out something. That means it's going to remove something. So if you are not giving any argument in this bracket, then by default it will remove the last element. If you are giving some argument, then it must be an index position. And if you are using a remove, then you are just giving a value which you want to remove from the list. So these are the things you need to consider. So pop and remove, it's done. Now I'm just applying the reverse. X dot reverse, where you have a sequence 1 2 3 4 5 like this. When you are just applying a reverse, you will get a output like 4 3 2 1, then this sequence, then 56, then this sequence, then 5 4 3 2 1, like this we will get. So now we have something else to discuss: copy and count. There's two things we need to, sorry, clear, copy and count, and then sort. This four things we need to discuss. So first I will go ahead with the copy. So here we have two kind of copies. One is known as deep copy and another one is known as shallow copy. So the deep copy means one variable name values will be copied and stored to different variable name. Shallow copy means two variable name which is sharing the same memories. So for example, I'm just defining y equal to x. This is a shallow copy. Now z equal to x dot copy. This is deep copy. So id of y and the id of x and the id of z. See, x and y, where you just directly assigned, is having a same memory location. When you are just defining this z, it's having a different memory location. So this is what your deep copy and the shallow copy method is. So the changes which you are making in z will affect x, and the changes which you are making, the changes which you are making in z, it won't affect x, but the changes which you are making in y or x will affect this variable names each other. So let's we apply the prop in z now. So the last element 1 is removed in x, y, x, z. See, the y and x is actually affected, but 1 is not get removed. So when you are just removing something from your z, let's we remove this value here. So z value is removed, but x and y, it's not affected each other. So now I am just applying a remove to x. So let's we remove this sequence. So that sequence is removed in x, and y also it automatically gets removed. But z, that sequence will be there. So that's what deep copy and shallow copy is. The next thing is x dot clear means you will get the empty list. And the count, I want to know how many 1 is available in z. It's having only 2 ones. So in z you have 1 and 2. So if I am giving, I want to know how many 56 are available in the z. It's have only 156. So I want to know how many 5 is available in the z. It's only 1. So I want to know how many 6 is there. There is no 6. So these all are inbuilt function which is available in your list data type, like append, clear, copy, count, extend, index, insert, pop, remove, and reverse sort. These all your inbuilt functions for only the list data type. The next thing is our tuple data type, dir of tuple. So here you have only two things, count and index, as like same variable name dot inbuilt function. So here we have only the count and index for tuple. The count which is used to know how many count is available, and index which is used to get the index position. Here we have only two dir function. The reason is tuple is immutable. That means we can't able to change anything in the tuple. That's the reason we have only these two inbuilt functions in our tuple. So as far like we completed your list and tuple inbuilt function, now we need to go ahead with the dictionary. So today we'll discuss about list, tuple and dictionary. That could be fine. I'm just creating one dictionary. We knew about dictionary. That's nothing but a key name, key value pair. I'm just having a name. I'm just giving Python, and I'm just giving a version, and the version is I'm just giving 3.7, and I'm just giving a framework. So framework, I'm just giving a list. So the list is nothing but let's we give a framework called NumPy Django, like this. So now you knew about type of D, it's nothing but the dictionary, and dir of D, that is nothing but directories which is available in your dictionary. So as we know about clear, which is exactly act like your D, and the copy also exactly act like your list. About from keys I will explain last. And now we need to go ahead with the get. Now we need to go ahead with the get method. So d dot get, what I'm just going to get here is, I want to I need to give without list. So I'm just giving a variable named or get. So this get method, what I'm just going to get, that is nothing but this key name. So you will get the output. It's a Python. So now you can able to do like this also. It's a Python. And where I'm just going to give some spelling mistake for this name. Let's give a case sensitive. Python is a case sensitive. So for get, you are not getting any value. It's returning only the null. So the same if you are applying with the normal accessing method, you will be just getting a key error. So if the key name is not there, this method will give you the error, but this method will give you the null value. So that's the difference between normal accessing method, that's nothing but our indexing method, and this get method. So it's advisable to always go ahead with your inbuilt methods because it will occupy the less memory, and as there is no value, it is returning the null value, so we can able to handle, there is no need to handle any errors. So for that perspective, using this method is actually advisable. And then the next thing is, we'll be going ahead with our we are just going ahead with d dot keys. You will be getting all the key names from the dictionary. D dot values, the values from the dictionary. D dot items, you will get the actual value like key name key value pair, which is exactly look like this. So that's what items, values, and the keys. Items means you will get the key name key value pair, the list inside a tuple. So values means you will be getting only the values, and the keys means you will be just getting all the key names. So the next thing is, we will discuss pop item later. Let's discuss about the set default and update. So now d dot set default. So what I'm just going to do here is, I'm just going to add something called year, and year I'm just giving 1992. So now the set default is actually used to add, if there is no key name, it will add it. So now we have a key name of year. So now I'm just going to update the key value there. We can't able to update it. So the set default is used to default value to set to your key name. So that's what your set default is. Default value is set to your key name. That's what meaning for set default. So the set default means by default we are just setting some value to the key name. If there is no key name, it will add the key name like this. If there is a key name, it won't disturb that, because by default the value for the key name is already defined. So that's what your set default is. So the next thing is, we'll be going ahead with our update. So d dot update, I'm just giving year, and I'm just giving 1995. Sorry, yeah. So now the value got update. So if there is no key value, it will actually add it to the dictionary. If there is a key, then it will just update the values. So that's what your set default and update in your dictionary is. Then we have something called pop and pop item. So this pop item means I'm just so by default, the pop item means it will remove the last full item. That's what your pop item is. So then I need to explain about the pop. See, it is a very important thing. I'm just telling you d dot pop. Okay, so you need to give some key name. If I'm not passing anything, so you are getting pop expected at least one arguments got 0. So it was expecting some argument, but you didn't give anything. So here I am just giving a name. Okay, so now this name key, see, it is a little tricky stuff. So when you are just giving the pop, it actually removing only the key name, not the key value. Okay, so once it remove the key name for a few seconds, the key value will be there. So after that particular 1 second, Python doesn't know this Python is for which pair. So automatically the key value will be removed. When you are just applying a pop, you are just going to remove only the key name, not the key value. After some second, automatically the key name of this particular key value will be removed by the garbage collector in your Python. So when you are just applying this and when you are just giving a D, you will get the answer with the complete stuff will be removed. But actually in backend, first it is removing only the key name. After some second, it's actually removing the key value. So that's the one thing you need to always remember in your pop. And the next thing is from keys. Actually, I never used from keys in my lifetime. I will just explain how the from keys is working. The same key name for different key values. So I'm just giving x is equal to 12 and y is equal to a, b, c. So DICT, dictionary dot from keys, where I need to give y comma x. The reason is we need to give some iteration and x is the common static value. So the same key value for the different key names. You will get the output like this. So A12, B12, C12 like this. So for that perspective, we have this from keys. So clear copy, which is used to clear out the dictionary, and the copy, which is used to copy one element from another element. Pop item, set default, update values, from keys. All those things we discuss. Now I need to explain one more thing. You know how to build the dictionary. That is nothing but like this basic method. We have one more option to build. Variable name. I'm just defining only variable name. DICT in the bracket. I'm just giving name equal. I'm just giving some name. Oh, sorry. And then I'm just giving a model equal. I'm just giving something called Q5. And again, I'm just giving a year. Sorry, all the key name, it comes like a normal variable name. And I'm just giving 1992 because it's a kind of integer. So there is no need to give the quotes. You got the dictionary. So this is actually another way to create the dictionary. But this method is not advisable. You just go ahead with our normal build method. It's fine. But as you need to know about the another way, that's the reason I just explained this. So today we just discuss about list tuple dictionary inbuilt function. Tomorrow we are going to discuss about string dir function. Even in classroom training itself, I won't take more than 30 minutes. The reason is, if I am taking more than 30 minutes, you guys can't able to come that flow and you won't get the timing. So even in classroom, I will just take half an hour and I will give the remaining hours to practice. So dir of string, sorry, we need to give dir of str. So we have this much stuff to discuss tomorrow. So tomorrow is your Tuesday. So Tuesday we are going to discuss about string dir function. Wednesday is if-else for loop concept. Thursday is functions and Friday is your oops concept. So this week we are just going to discuss only about your Python, basic Python. So next week we are going to start with our data analytical part. So I hope you understand this thing. I'm just going to upload this 2-day recording session as well to our classroom. So you already have the materials there. So you just have a look on it, that could be fine. So hope you understand the concept. All the screenshot, everything is available in our PPT. You just work out for today. So tomorrow we will go ahead with our string input function. So is it clear?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, it's clear.
Okay. So tomorrow 11 o'clock, the same time.
Okay.
Okay. Bye. Take care.
Thank you. Bye.